Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. I love it, man. Welcome back. 9:30 on the nose in downtown Alton on this 18th day of July. The mayor of Alton, David Goins, joins me in studio with the Park and Recreation Director, Michael Haynes. Gentlemen, how are we doing this morning?
Doing well. Okay. CJ, thanks for having us.
Well, I'm sorry, it's like 180 degrees in the studio today. I got down here and went, man, where'd the outside coolness go?
Normally basements are cool. I
Honestly, I wore a suit jacket one day down here, and I went never again,
It's actually cool outside this morning, but then we come in here and it's hot. Come on, man.
What's the deal?
It's the reverse of raging rivers. It's only hot when it's cool, As we get settled in here, we just saw the press conference on Tuesday where you guys were reacting and giving some answers to the sinkhole that occurred at Gordon F. Moore Community Park. And right off the bat, before we get into the meat of the conversation, what's your reaction, Mayor, to just the press conference and some of the questions you heard?
Well, we were well prepared for the press conference. Many of the media outlets sent their questions in advance, and so we were able to prepare and kind of formulate a kind of a script to answer a lot of the questions as they, as I spoke in my opening statements. And so, therefore, it seemed like a lot of the questions that they were given weren't asked. And so they started just coming up with questions, that's normal. So, but I think it was good, and I credit Bianca Jackson for prepping me and getting me ready and just doing all the legwork in advance just to be able to get that. And even with the weather, how crazy it was, and then because we wanted to have it out at Gordon Moore, and then we had to switch it up kind of on the fly.
It was. You guys did a great job with that, seriously, to get that really back on the air within a matter of, an hour or two?
Yeah. We made the decision around 9 o'clock,
Wow.
because it didn't look like it was going to clear up. I thought it might clear up by 10, but then just the rain just kept coming, and I thought, we better go ahead and make that call. So we made the call.
And, Park and Rec Director Haynes, what's your thought just on the press conference?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I know that, a lot of people in the community were a little frustrated with because there was no information. They hadn't got a lot of information, but, neither had we, to be honest with you. It's something that happened out of our control, and with the nature of it, it takes investigating and by professionals that aren't us, necessarily. So we're waiting on words from others to tell us kind of the roadmap of what's happening and where we're going to go from here. So it was nice to get out there, and the CEO of New Frontier joined in, which was great.
That was huge. That was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For him to come in, from Alabama.
Yeah. Well, and you guys just made a great point because, in the new age of media, where anything can be taken as a conspiracy, if you turn on any big four television like Fox or CNN or MSNBC, down here locally, I think that's a good point is you guys were learning just as we were with some of the developments that were happening. And do you care to touch on that a little bit? How quickly were some of the information kind of rolling out? Did it take quite a few days to truly find out what caused the event and what was going to happen going forward?
Well, that's really still ongoing. So it's just like, the information is that there was a mine subsidence and it caused a sinkhole. And basically that was all, because they're still underground testing, doing things, we just know that there was a mine subsidence and then there was a sinkhole.
Yeah. And then they gave us, a day or two afterwards, they gave us an overhead of where they were working and what MSHA was looking at. It's kind of the K order is what they
K
called
order,
it.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of all we knew. Yeah. Like this is where they're testing and all that.
And they were drilling basically just to test the density of the rock underneath to ensure that it was dense enough, and that's what's ongoing is drilling underneath just to test the what they call like the rock shelf. That is that or the rock ceiling is to make sure that the area going away from the sinkhole, that whole area is secure in that excuse me, in that K order.
Well, and Mayor, while just on top of that too, we've seen drone photos of the sinkhole a couple of days after with all of the rain that we've gotten in this area. People keep going, oh, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger. As at this point in time, do we know if it's truly getting bigger or is it just getting wider because of the dirt kind of funneling in?
That's the whole thing of gravity. It's getting wider, as Justin Kleinsmith said in the press conference. They call it sloughing.
Okay.
And sloughing is just that gravity as it expands, and it's where actually the ground is it's like it's searching for that solid base where it can just simply just stop. So it's getting wider at the top, but it's not getting deep. It's not getting deeper at all.
That's what I was curious about to know. And now also in the press conference, we heard a little bit about an ancient cave as being part of the reasoning for the subsidence event. Is that the case? Did I hear that correctly?
Well, that's a preliminary evaluation by MSHA. And so we shared it because it was shared with us. So that's why. And so that's something that I know that Frontier Materials will follow up with MSHA about.
Really interesting, because I and that's what I was kind of curious about, was where they perceive this cave to potentially be and just what we're going to hear going forward. Director Haynes, do you have any thoughts to follow up with that?
No, it's just like he said. Senator Baczynski's office has been in touch with MSHA, and I think that's kind of some of the information they passed along to her office. So I don't think it's there's not like an actual report out or anything.
Right.
It was maybe like this is maybe what happened here. This is what we're looking at.
Gotcha.
Yeah, preliminary.
Yeah.
I get it now.
They don't know for sure anything yet.
Because their final review is still, we're still waiting. We're still waiting because they're doing all the drilling just to secure that area that's under the K order.
And now, Mayor Goins, what's it mean to you to know that you have, like Park and Rec Director Haynes just said, Congresswoman Baczynski, and so many, individuals at state, local, and federal levels in terms of public office and beyond that are willing to support and raise awareness for this? What's it mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. We have had support from the Office of the Governor. I've had a chance to speak with the governor personally about this incident, and staff from his office, and also from Congresswoman Baczynski. Spoke with her personally, and then she should provide her support staff, and also State Representative Amy Ellick and State Senator Erica Harris have lent their support to this, and it's just been a collaboration. It's just been a team effort. There's been no Lone Rangers. There's been no just no isolation. We've all have worked together collaboratively. Our Mike has been outstanding. Jesse, our fire chief, just everybody involved. It's definitely been a team effort.
Well, and on top of that too, touching on just the park staff a little bit, I'm sure the event has had quite a toll on your staff, Mike, and just the staff around the city, Mayor, in general. Plus, the entities that are at Gordon Moore Park with, the Irish soccer club that I coach, Marquette Catholic, utilizes the fields, the River Dragons, the golf course. Is there anything that's being discussed right now to kind of help those organizations with some of the impact that they've received financially from this, and just your thoughts on that going forward?
Well, there's been a lot of discussion, and I think Mike can even touch on it better because he's in more direct contact with those individuals. But we, as a city, have always stated up front that we want to lend our hand and provide assistance and direction or however we can within the scope of our authority. And so we want to help, and if we can't help, we want to direct them to the right people to help, because just like the Central Illinois Cougars football team, the coach called me and said, hey, I potentially have a playoff game. So I said, hey, give me a date. When's your playoff game is? And he gave me a date, and I said, well, here. And so I got his information, and I forwarded it to the school superintendent with the possibility of maybe able to play at West Elementary, public school stadium. And so that's kind of an example of how my office has been able to help with that, and I'm sure that Michael has done a lot of that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what we've been honed in on for the most part, is helping all of the user groups, like you mentioned out. And we certainly everyone that uses that park is our top priority, and we're going to make sure that they have our support through everything. I know that it's been hard on, especially the two you mentioned with Lisa's there, the golf course and the River Dragons.
Yeah.
But no, they're not going to be left out to dry, and we're going to do everything we can to support them. And it's still very early. We're still in the stages of finding out what's going on, what happened, and when we're going to be able to use the facilities again. There's going to be a process to it, so we'll see.
Well, and on top of that too, as citizens of the Riverbend, not even just Alton, but anyone that utilizes Gordon Moore Park and going forward, how can the public provide maybe feedback or anything that we could do as a community to kind of maybe help you in this process in some way, shape, or form, if possible?
Well, the best support, I think, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, is patience.
Yep. Yeah.
If the community would patience, and just to kind of convey to them that we are doing our best to make sure, because safety is our number one priority, the safety of our residents and our cities. And just like the question that was asked in the press conference about the potential, once the park opened, about lower attendance because people are afraid to come back to the park. I mean, there's a lot of work that will still have to be done, and especially to ensure the public, once we open the park, we will be able to assure the public, we can't say this will never happen again, but that would be stupid.
Right.
But we want to be able to say to the people that this is that when this park opens, we have assured through working with MSHA and New Frontier Materials and the city of Alton that this park is safe.
Absolutely. Do you guys have about 5 more minutes to stick around with me, if it's okay?
Yeah.
We'll take a quick pause here just because we got to reset a little bit, make sure our sponsors are thanked for providing their support for this local show. We'll take a quick pause, but our conversation with Mayor David Goins and Park and Recreation Director Mike Haynes continue right after this on RiverBender.com. It's on Roku TV.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
No. Sorry, guys. You heard a little bit of an extended music break, but 24 Roses by Shenandoah is a pretty good song. You know, I think that was one you can listen to for a while. Yeah, 24 Roses, you know. Well, as we're coming back in and just having this conversation, I mean, number one, you can't really prepare for an event like this. I mean, we all know that flooding happens in this region, but when can you mark on your bingo card a sinkhole that's going to be, 100 feet wide is going to entrap, Gordon Moore Park soccer fields? Could you have at all prepared for this?
That's like winning the lottery.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing the lottery. Well, what's the chances that you're going to get all those numbers and win whatever the pot is?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, I got that phone call, and it takes you somewhere you've never been, obviously, and it just turns into it's crisis management.
Yeah,
is what it is. I mean, it's like when a natural disaster or something happens, you're not expecting it, but then you have to deal with it on the fly.
Yeah,
without much information.
It's like an earthquake. You can kind of prepare for a hurricane. You can semi-prepare for a tornado, flooding, but an earthquake is one of those, you just sit there all of a sudden, boom, and next thing you know, the ground opens. Just like, this is like a mini earthquake,
Well, it was. And whenever we're just talking about going forward, the next steps on the rung of the ladder, which I'm sure are still trying to be cleared right now and just trying to see what is that next step. Is it best for the residents, anyone that's concerned about the sinkhole, for news agencies alike, to just stay up to date on, your guys' Facebook page, the City of Alton website? What's the best way to get this information?
Most of the time, it's through press releases, but we also can utilize our Facebook page and our website. But we will, as soon as new information comes available, we will be releasing it.
Certainly, if anything changes regarding the status of the park, we'll make sure to get it out there on our Facebook page.
There was something in a recent a local publication that, Mayor, if you're here, if possible, I'd like for you to clarify that stated that the consultant for the City of Alton during this situation with the sinkhole is also the same consultant in PR, the same PR firm that the mine company uses, New Frontier Materials. Could you kind of clarify that? Is that the case?
And could you repeat that one more time? Yeah.
So in a recent publication, the local newspaper said that the PR firm for Frontier Materials is the primary consultant on the City of Alton's PR messages regarding this situation with the sinkhole. Is that true?
It's not a primary consultant. It is their PR person working in concert with our PR person, who is Bianca Jackson.
Okay.
And so they coordinate to put together the pertinent information that needs to be released. It's not that we're consulting with them. that's just the way it is. Whenever there's an event like this, you need a public spokesperson. You don't need everybody speaking to it. You just need one person. Right. It needs just to come from one source. And New Frontier Materials is acting the same way. It needs to come from one source, and they coordinate. And it's not a consulting. It is they're bouncing off of one another, and they're working in tandem and in concert together to make sure that we're all saying the same thing, and that just totally makes sense. And so it's not that we're consulting with them. It's a teamwork process.
Yes, and I wanted to clarify that because the way it was written, in my opinion, I don't think it was very slanted and just kind of the statement that they gave. And really appreciate you clarifying that, just for the audience, going forward.
Yeah, it made us think that we're just sitting back and just waiting for them to tell us what to do and tell us what to say, and that is totally untrue.
Absolutely. Thank you for clarifying that, Mayor Goins. And Director Haynes, going forward, for folks that are ready to go watch the River Dragons at Gordon Moore Park again, for the folks that are ready to tee off and hit the highway on, the first or second tee out there at Spencer T. Olin. And Mayor, your thoughts as well. Can you maybe estimate, are we looking to, since the start of the school year, maybe September, October? Are we not even in that ballpark yet to even predict a day?
We don't know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I wish as much as anybody that we had that we could make plans with a timeline, but we're just kind of preparing for any date right now.
Yeah. You know what? I wish we could have opened the park the day it happened and say, it's okay. Yeah. But obviously you couldn't. And I would like to open the park like yesterday. I think I said that in the press conference, or I told somebody that. It's like this sinkhole is like a big rock that hit a pond, and just a ripple effect has just come, and it just rippled out, and it is just I feel for the River Dragons and Spencer T. and just all the people that use the park. We just put in brand new pickleball courts, and now they can't be utilized, and so. It's a process, and if you give somebody some information, it's going to open in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, and then it's not open, then they'll just come at you. We're going to be very, very using abundance of caution, just to make sure that we don't say something that we cannot back up or support.
Two final questions for you, and thank you seriously so much for your time today. I know that so many were interested to learn more about this. Regarding the soccer fields, when the park does reopen, I'm sure that it'll be quite some time before, that section probably is, if ever, used again. Has there been any talk about maybe going to the north side of Gordon Moore Park and utilizing that for park and rec soccer or for soccer in general going forward?
Yeah, we've been talking about relocating some of our things, some of our fall programs, Renegades being one of them, playing their home football games on the north side of 140. Along with, it's still got to be mapped out exactly, but any other soccer activities that we do have ample space up there, and we can make a, kind of a temporary home for some other stuff.
Really cool. And, as we're going forward, just in terms of this whole entire picture, there's, obviously, the question of, is there, once everything starts to clear, the clouds start to part, is there going to be some financial assistance from the mining company or the insurance company even for the sinkhole that was caused to the city? Do you guys foresee that happening where there's some type of relief that's associated with this, or is it too early to say?
It's too early to say.
Okay.
That will definitely be a bridge that we'll cross eventually, but we're just not there yet. And just to comment on it at this time would be a little premature, but it's a great question.
Thank you very much.
And I know people are wondering, but it's kind of like a step. You have a sinkhole. First of all, you have to make the park safe. You have to remediate downstairs before you can address upstairs.
Yep.
And then that's when you start looking at those things related to your question.
Absolutely. And one final one just for both of you is, for all the people that, we've, with Charlie and everybody else, the Optimist Club, all the volunteerism that was used out there to build up Gordon F. Moore Park. What's your thought to maybe those residents that are just kind of hurt by it, not really upset, but just sad to see this event take place? What's your message to the community going forward just through this?
We feel your pain. We feel your sadness. We are just as sad, just as hurt, just as shocked as you are. But just let us assure you that we are working diligently to do everything with possible, along with New Frontier Materials. They're not sitting there twiddling their fingers. They're underneath that mine constantly, underneath there, making sure that those areas are safe, that they have designated in that K order, and doing the drilling. And so we are going to continue to press on and move forward, and we'll get the park open eventually.
I think back, to you mentioned people that had a hand in the park in its origination, and everybody that's worked there, and like your grandfather,
Right.
Yeah.
Charlie. He ran those soccer fields for a long time, and
He was great. Just a great guy.
Thank you very much.
I love Charlie.
Obviously it's disappointing, but I think he and everyone who's had a hand in the park would say, yeah, that stinks. But the main thing is nobody was there. No one got hurt. And because that would be a whole different situation.
Very true.
Everybody's okay.
Very true.
That's the biggest message. And Charlie's looking down on us right now. I can hear him say, he can probably say something like, Goins, what the heck did you do?
Right.
You're right about that. But he'd have a Pall Mall hanging out of his mouth, too.
Yeah, so he would say, what did you do? But
But seriously, to both of you, thank you so much for the extended conversation. I hope that for the folks at home, it gave you some feedback, some clarification, and just some steps to take going forward. To both of you, thank you so much for your time.
thank you.
9:57, a little bit of change on this Thursday morning. We'll take a quick break with top of the hour news hitting you in the nose next after this.